Hello guys, today we are going to make a smart bulb on Tinkercad. First we are going to create a new circuit first. Alright. After we create our circuit, we can change the name on the top left. So we name it as smart bulb. Okay. For today project, we are going to use three simple components as the input and output, which is a LED and also a PIR sensor, which is a motion detector, or you can say it's a motion sensor, and an analog input, a photoresistor. Now we have to search for Arduino board. And also a breadboard. Okay. Besides, we are going to also use two resistors for our LED and also photoresistor. Typically, the value for resistor is 220 ohm. So we have to use it for this project too. So as you can see for the breadboard, that is 5 dots that light up together. That means that these 5 dots are internal connected in the breadboard. Same things goes to the negative terminal and positive terminal. Okay, for the breadboard, now we have to connect it to the power and also the ground. We can adjust the color for the wire as well. For the wire, you can adjust it by clicking on it. We can double click on the wire. You can create a so-called a junction, so you can adjust it according to your preference. Okay, now we can change the color to black color. It's a typical color code for it. A black color for ground or negative terminal, and positive terminal we use a red color. Now we have to connect our electrical component. First is LED. As you can see, LED have a cathode legs and an anode legs. The cathode legs we have to connect it to negative terminal, which is ground. By connecting it, we can just use a resistor to connect it instead using a wire. Now for the photoresistor, the two terminals are typically the same, means that there's no polarities. So we actually determine how current flow from it. And for the PIR sensor, there's 3 legs: signal, power, and ground. So we have to connect the ground to a negative terminal and also the power to the positive terminal. Right now we are going to connect the signal line. For this PIR sensor, which is a motion detector, it is a digital input. So we make it as digital pin. We have to connect the signal leg to digital pin. Let's say we connect to pin 6. Now we change to green to indicate that this is a signal wire. Also, don't forget it, you have to connect a source to the power source to the photoresistor so that it can detect things and give an input to the Arduino board. Now we have to get the signal of the photoresistor. Now we have to connect the wire of the terminal that is connected to ground, not the terminal that connecting to the source. So we use this terminal 1. We connect this to analog pin 0. You can see that the analog in indicate here means that these 6 pin are basically the analog input pin, means that they read analog signal. We change it as grid color. So now we have to connect our LED to one of the digital pin. We use digital pin 7. Alright. Okay, now basically our circuit done already. Now we have to go to the block, to the code block. First we have to know that how our smart bulb works. So our smart bulb will only light up when there's people in the room and the surroundings dark. Like to satisfy these two conditions, we have to use an if-else loop. We can get it on the control, and that's down there. Now we're going to math. As you can see, there's a hexagonal hole on it. This means that there's a condition to fit in. Now we have two conditions to use. We have to use this hexagonal that have two hexagonal on it. Means that it can compare these two conditions. Now for each of the condition, we use this hexagonal that has a comparator on it. Means that we can assign a value to it for it to compare. The first one that we have to compare is the PIR sensor. We have to use the read digital pin, put it on the first circle, and set it to the pin that the PIR sensor uses, which is pin 6. We set it to pin 6 and set it to equal to 1. Means that when there's people in it and the digital input value is 1, then the condition is satisfied. Then we have to use the read analog pin A0, which we have to read the value of the photoresistor. As photoresistor is analog, the value is more than just 0 and 1. Typically, the max value for it is around 300, so I put it as maybe 150. Okay, now if these two conditions satisfy, we have to do something. Now for this case, the light bulb will light out the bulb. So we use the output, set the pin. As you can see, the light bulb using pin 7. So we use pin 7, set it to high. This just means that if this condition is true, the Arduino board will send a signal to a light bulb and it will light up. Alright, next we have to put another condition. We have to put another output on it, which set it to low. Means that when there's no people or the surrounding is too bright, the light bulb will turn off automatically. Alright, so this is just our code, the shortcode. Okay, now we have to demonstrate how it's work. We close the block, we start simulation. Alright, it's done. Okay, now we've checked the condition of the photoresistor. Now it's dark. And what if there's people in it? You can see when there's people in it, the light bulb will turn on. When there's no people, the light bulb will turn off. You can see it works just nice. You can see when there's people in it, detect something, there's two red circle appear on it. That indicate that it detects something. When it's orange, it detects nothing. The bulb will turn off. So what if surroundings bright? When it's bright and it detects something, but the bulb will not light up. because the surrounding is too bright for it to light up. So when it's dark, it will light up. Alright, that's all for this project. Thank you.